start with our inside arm here, outside arm coming up in a half moon. We're gonna stretch out. We're gonna feel all of the sides here and in our back. If you want to intensify this one, you can drop this top hand lower as well. You can take this leg out, moving it out. You hold it for at least 30 seconds. I'm not going to because it'll be a long video. So with this top hand too, here, so the one that was on the top, I like to just get a nice stretch going too, and just hanging on for it, make sure we get a nice stretch up here. I like to do the same on the other side first for this stretch. You can come forwards, you can come back, it kind of changes the spot on where you'd like to stretch. It's a nice stretch either way. Okay, we'll do across the chest, locking off. I want you to think about this dropping down. Okay, and you're pushing against the arm. And swap. So you get a nice stretch on our arms and in our chest. Take it over the top. Obviously, you would hold all of these stretches for at least 30 seconds for a static stretching. So, elbow up. The hand goes in between your shoulder blades, just lightly pressing down for a nice tri stretch. Swap. Okay. Oh, we did miss our left or right side, the opposite side. Nice stretch here, which we'll do. We'll get both arms up high, sinking our bums down. You can bend your back ever so slightly. As we come out of it, I like to do a little back roll up. Take a bit of a wider stance away from the pole so we can drop here and get a nice deep stretch from our back. And we go nice and deep too, so we can feel it in our hammies and our quads and calves. I like to tell my students to think about pushing your armpits to the ground for this one too. Just to get a bit of a nice stretch, just taking it easy. Do a nice little roll up. I like to do palms down, ear to shoulder, just to get a nice neck stretch here. Pushing your palms to the ground to get a deeper stretch. Looking up. And then ear to shoulder, pushing down. And then chin to chest. When you put your chin to your chest, keep your palms down, but pull your shoulder blades back together slightly. Okay, interlock our fingers at the back, rolling our shoulders back to keep them locked together. Get a nice stretch here. Get a rock side to side a little bit, just take it gently. Nice wide stance. You can bend your knees to go down. Over to get a nice, then straighten your legs out to get a nice hamstring stretch and a lower back stretch. Bend your knees, coming up, crossing our arms over, and we're going back down. And we do a nice rock side to side just to get our lower back all nice and untight. And then we take our hands to the ground and do figure of 8 with our hips. Bend your knees, slowly roll it up, thinking about each vertebrae on your spine, giving it a nice stretch. glasses. The last thing is your chin to your chest, coming up, do a nice little one. I always like to include a little bit of flexibility training in my cool down as well if there's time in my classes. So I don't know if the camera's going to show it, but pigeon with the knee in front, thinking about this hip coming down, just to get some nice flexibility training. You don't have to use the pole. For a nice deeper stretch too, if your students are comfortable. The back leg, so we're pigeon, the front one is bent in front of us. You can have it tucked in at the heel as well. This leg back, your hips is square to the ground. You can go down for a deeper stretch, and you should feel it in your hamstrings up the side. And then bringing this one up, just gently pushing it here. And then we swap. I like to do a butterfly too. With our butterfly, it's not so much about getting your knees to the ground or how close you can get your heels, it's about how you hinge your hips. So when you're doing it, we have a nice puff our chest up, hinge forward at the hips. And we should feel it in our hip flexors. So your groin muscles really, well, they're hip flexors, but. So hinge, forward, we'll come out, give it a nice little stretch. While we're on the ground as well, I always do wrist ones because we do a lot of wrist work in pole. So a couple of rolls, fingers facing towards you, palms down on the mat, coming forward, rocking back and forth. Get a nice stretch up your wrist and your forearms too. I'm hoping the camera's showing this. So fingers down here, and then you can rock back and forth. Just gently on this one, okay? It doesn't take a whole, it's not a very deep stretch to feel it. Obviously, we're holding all of these for 30 seconds. Palms down, fingers towards you, gently. You don't need pressure on this one at all. And just rocking back onto your knees. And that's kind of my cool down. I'll mix it up depending on the night. I'll include some more flexibility. I'll include some other stretches. It really depends on the class and timing. I'll always do pull throughs, which I think I forgot in this demo, but I always, as I'm talking at the end of the night, I'll do these ones. So we're pulling through, having our chest square. I like to do a bent arm one, extending out, having your arm back, nice and straight. And then I like to raise it up as well, just to get a deeper, or a stretch in different muscles in your arms and chest and your shoulder. And then we'll swap. I usually do those first while some of the other girls are finishing up other stuff. And a nice deep stretch here. And then up. Always thumb up for this one. Pulling through. Ankles. Yeah, that's kind of my basic cool down. Change the pattern up every so often. Mix it up, include new things, but always making sure we're cooling down your neck, your shoulders. Obviously, I always include wrists. And I like to get some sort of like hip flexor and glutes and quads sort of cool down. The odd time, if we're doing anything that's hooking with like a lot of pressure on your calf, I'll do a nice calf stretch down. I'd kind of try to tailor it to all the muscles that we're using that night.